Uh, Good morning, Mr. Branimir Stojanovic. We meet here in Gracanica, and you are a political activist here in Gracanica. Could you explain to which party you belong and your activity?
Okay, I'm active in politics in the last 10, 12 years, and my first position was I was mayor of Gracanica in 2013. Afterwards, I was deputy of the prime minister for 3 years. After that position, I was deputy of the minister in Serbian government in Belgrade, deputy of the minister of economy. And after that post at 2019, I came back to Gracanica, and since then I'm here. I am originally one of the founders of Srpska Lista, but in last couple of years, last 3 or 4 years, I simply didn't agree with many things that Srpska Lista is doing, and I have established recently with a few other local leaders from Zubin Potok and some other places, established new political party, and now I am deputy of the president of that political party that is called Serbian People's Movement, and that is a new political party representing Serbs in Kosovo. So that is
Okay.
short.
So, Mr. Stojanovic, could you explain first what is Srpska Lista and the history of this movement?
Srpska Lista was established in 2012 as a political party as a result of the Brussels Agreement, as a political party that should represent all Serbian community in whole Kosovo. Unfortunately, it didn't develop as I expected. In the end, that political party organized all Serbs all around Kosovo to participate in the local elections right after Brussels Agreement in 2013, and that was the first time when Serbs participated fully in all municipalities where Serbs lives on the local elections. Srpska as a political party on the beginning was a true representative of the Serbian people. Unfortunately, after some time and some work, simply changed its original structure. Simply, it was completely centralized and ruled by few people in the top, and whole democratic and whole normal procedure that's supposed to allow people to explain and to affect on the politics from ground was completely destroyed. And in the end, we got what I used to repeat all the time: we have a company, not a political party, because the whole democratic process is within that structure is completely destroyed. Now it's completely ruled from top, and none of the people in local level that is, I think, essential for long-term survival of people is disappeared. And that's why we established new political party that will be able to also address the issues and opinions of the common people.
Who were members of this Srpska Lista, and the members of Srpska Lista were from everywhere in Kosovo? It means in North Kosovo and in Central Kosovo and South Kosovo?
Everywhere, yes. Also, from that beginning, all around Kosovo, all Serbian representatives were included. Even now, they are included all around Kosovo, but we cannot speak about true representation because these people are not elected from ground, they are elected from top. So basically, they are elected from some few guys on the top of the Srpska Lista, and that's why this huge dissatisfaction among people with their ruling. We have huge problems with huge corruption within institutions where we have influence, where Srpska Lista is making decisions, and that's why we have an enormous number of people that is leaving now from Serbian community, from Kosovo. Also other things affected that strongly. But one of the issues that is struggling us a lot is that corruption and inefficiency of local rulings of Serbian representatives.
In Kosovska Mitrovica, I met with the vice-president of Srpska Demokratia. Srpska Demokratia has something to see with the Serbian People Movement, which you represent?
These are new political parties recently established, and their political party as well. So they're also trying to, as I said, it's huge dissatisfaction with Srpska Lista. So that is why we have new political parties being established, because simply Srpska Lista is not addressing problems of the Serbs in Kosovo in a proper way.
Srpska Lista make contradictory decisions about local elections of mayor, especially in North Kosovo. Which is the reason of this contradictory decision? First, to participate, then to boycott. After they asked for a referendum, which took place last Sunday, and they boycotted again. What's the reason of all these contradictory decisions?
The list of the bad decisions that they have made, it's quite longer. It starts a bit earlier, and what they are doing is simply harming us a lot. These bad decisions, main reasons are probably because they are trying to avoid their responsibility for position in which people is now. Simply they got into some process from the beginning, from the Brussels agreement, that they accepted simply to be part of the some process, and now when the bill is coming for all the things that they are supposed to implement, they are simply trying to avoid their personal responsibility for the things that are happening. So avoiding these things will simply not happen, because all the people knows who is responsible, and they will have to respond to what they have been deciding in past. So they are simply trying to preserve their positions. Simply in past, especially in the north, they had a situation in which they could easily win any elections because they had all the instruments in their hands. Now many things changed, and now what their decisions for the past. So one of the things that they helped is that they helped electing Vjosa Osmani for president of Kosovo. Without their presence in the assembly, Vjosa Osmani couldn't be the president of Kosovo. Also, what is important to know is that they cooperated with Vetëvendosje Albin Kurti very closely. They have been the part of the government of Albin Kurti. Also, they supported in the local level in many places where votes of Srpska Lista helped their mayors to be elected, like in Kosovska Kamenica, for the example, directly Srpska Lista supported electing the mayor from the Vetëvendosje. So what they are trying to hide is that they have had huge cooperation with Vetëvendosje, with Albin Kurti, and when he is making now decisions that are really bad for our community, they're simply trying to get out of all of that process and to avoid their responsibility for the position in which we are now.
How do you see the perspective with this problem of mayor in North Kosovo?
Not only that problem, with the other problems as well. We cannot expect bright days in front of us. The situation is like this weather outside. It's cold and it's raining, and we don't see many things changing in our benefit for our community, because many things are happening that we cannot influence on. Simply those that are supposed to represent Serbian people, they are simply avoiding their responsibilities. They're not in parliament. They're not trying to do anything. They avoided they run away from their posts of the mayors. No, we cannot neglect the fact that Kurti is making many bad decisions for our community, directly affecting our community, but running away from the battlefield, if I can put it that way, it's completely responsible, and that is what the Srpska Lista is doing. They have run away, and they are not defending the people within institutions, because now they're trying to behave like they haven't been doing anything in the last 10 years, which is completely nonsense.
It means that the Albanian mayors who were elected only with 3% of participation, they will stay till next elections?
Now there are no more legal instruments how they can be replaced, only if they resign by themselves. And that will definitely be the fact that they will stay till end of their mandate, and that is direct responsibility of Srpska Lista, because if they haven't done what they have done...
Yes, but my question is that if they don't leave their post by themselves, who can oblige? Which possibility is to oblige them to run away their post?
Maybe only the direct pressure from Arbin Kurti, what will not happen probably, because
so they will stay.
They will stay. All the things that we know about the political situation which we are now, definitely they will stay, and that will contribute to create more crisis, because definitely one of the politics that we have seen from Pristina that is very effective for their cause is creating crisis and then rule with crisis, because in this situation they can succeed in their intentions to decrease number of Serbs in Kosovo.
Are there members of Srpska lista currently in the Kosovo's government?
In the government, no, but in parliament, yes. They have 10 MPs in the Kosovo parliament, but they're not present there at all. They're showing up in every 6 months simply to verify their presence. So because if they don't show up once in the 6 months, they will lose their posts. So they are preserving only their positions to receive salaries and to do nothing. And that is the situation with our representation now. So we as a people here now in worst possible position. We have representatives that we effectively don't have. So Srpska lista is simply won 90%, 95% of the votes. So their irresponsible behavior is something that is one of the reasons why we are trying to create alternatives to Srpska lista, because we need people that will be, if we participate in the elections, we have to have people in system that will fight, not to be only decoration.
How do you see the best political organization of Kosovo, in your opinion?
What do you think as a political party or institution? Or
Institutions.
Institution. Definitely there is no sufficient institutional frame for Serbs in Kosovo that will be sufficient for us to create normal life. One of the reasons that we thought that maybe Association of Majority Serb Municipalities could upgrade somehow this institutional frame that we work now, because only local authorities are not enough. Most of our life is being financed, and definitely our people couldn't survive without direct support of the Belgrade and the Serbian institutions that we have. One of the things from the process, from dialogue from very beginning, it was that establishing of majority Serbian Municipalities Association is to create alternative and to legalize all these institutions, and all this help to be effective. Why we need this institution? For many reasons. We as a community have huge problem. First, our self-sustainability doesn't exist. Our people is surviving by revenues and incomes that are coming from the Serbian budget and from some other budgets as well. Many people is employed also in Kosovo institutions, but if we can make some comparison, maybe 80-85% of our people is having revenues, incomes from Serbian budget. So one of the huge problems that we have now is that Kurti is trying to cut all these incomes that are coming. Decision about dinars is directly connected with that. So that is causing us huge problems. In a legal way, we need institutions that will help these small municipalities, because we have 10 municipalities, 4 in the north, 6 in the south. These are small municipalities. They don't have enough economy in their ground. They don't have enough human potential within institution itself, so that they can be self-sustainable. If you see that one municipality of Klokot has about 3,000 citizens, you can imagine what their revenues are, what are their human capacities and potential to use to organize their life. So without one institution that could organize them all together, to support them directly, financially support them with human resources, in practical ways in many areas, these municipalities in long terms are not sustainable. So that is why we will probably need the upgrade of the legal frame in which we work and live.
So yesterday I met Mr. Sébastien Gricourt. Do you know him? He's advisor of Vice Prime Minister of the government of Kosovo. He told me that the status of the Serb municipality community is written, and that it will be presented to the Constitutional Court and published on 16th of May. What do you expect from this status, and were the Serbs consulted on this?
I have seen the draft statute. It was something that unofficially was published in media, also as a EU proposal, unofficially, of course.
You have seen the draft?
Yes, I have seen. It was public. It was printed in media, in newspapers, in media. You could see it. If that is the one, because as everything is unofficial, we cannot be sure that that is the right version. But what we have seen, that is not completely the same what we have talked about and what was agreed in Brussels. So we will see whether that will be accepted by both sides. But definitely there are some solutions in that draft that can be practically useful and that can resolve some issues that we have. For the example, what I have seen in that draft statute, Serbian education that we have financed from Serbia will have status as a private education from other state. That will how Kosovo institutions will interpret its existence, and Serbia will have right to finance directly. All the students will have double diplomas, one from Serbia, one from Kosovo institution. So some solutions can be very useful practically, and maybe will resolve issues that we have for the last 25 years, because you know that we have problem with books. Kosovo institutions are forbidding Serbian books to be transported directly to Serbian community, and we have problems with the books for the primary, secondary school, and that is a huge problem. Hopefully after...
A huge problem, yes. I'm astonished.
Yes, so we have also problems with medicines, all health institutions that are financed from Serbia, and there are no other health institutions that Serbs use other than this financed from Serbia. We have always problem with medicines because they're blocked from Kosovo customs. Recently they have started to transport some minor quantities, but this is a huge problem for us in the last 20 years. So we expect that with this resolving, establishing of Zajednica and legalizing these institutions, we will resolve this issue, because that will be Kosovo institutions that will be legal for Kosovo customs and for everybody. And finally, we will resolve this issue, because it's not normal. Our health institutions are working in very bad conditions, especially after this decision about dinners. They're barely functioning, and we have huge problems. So I hope that this can resolve. This draft statute, that if we are talking about the same version, it's also not completely within the Brussels agreement. It doesn't predict executive powers, and that is, I think, problematic, because in original draft statute, Association of Majority Serb Municipality is supposed to have executive powers in 4 areas: education, healthcare, spatial and rural planning, and economical development. So,
okay, last question. Could you explain which is the problem with dinar?
Problem with dinar is very simple. After 1999, Serbian government directly supported Serbian population from its institution that existed, and it's supposed to legally exist, that was completely within 1244 resolution of UN. After the self-declaration of Kosovo in 2008, many governments tried simply to pressurize on these institutions and to reduce their capacity, to stop them working, and all of them are financed from Serbian government, official currency, and all payments in Serbian budget are being made in dinars. So this decision about dinar, it's not simply stopping one currency to be used. You can see dinars used everywhere, even here where we sit now, and everywhere you can pay, but not officially, but unofficially, of course. But the main reason for cutting this financial system to exist, because we had banks that was registered in Kosovo, in Serbia, that used dinars for their payments. all revenues that are used to come, all salaries, all pensions, or social givings have been coming in dinars. When Kurti stopped this use of dinar, he simply cut directly all financing that was coming from Serbian budget. So he directly cut all pipeline that is giving our life. So our people now has to travel over the Merdare, over the other crossings, administrative line, so to take simply pension or to take social givings or to take salaries. So that is one abnormal situation in which we live now, but unfortunately Kurti decided that and he made our life mess even more comparing to what we have lived before. So the problem with dinar is simply intention that without any agreement, without any consent of international community or from the dialogue with Belgrade, they simply try to cut everything that is coming from Serbian budget. And as I said before, that is giving our life in last 25 years because there are no other revenues that we have as a community. 85 to 90% all incomes that we have as a community are coming from Serbian budget. So you can imagine how harmful it was for us, how it was harmful for education, because all our teachers receive salaries from Serbian budget in dinars. All our doctors and the technical people in the healthcare system receive salaries in dinars. All the things that they have paid for functionality of these institutions are coming in dinars. So this decision is not only about the currency, as I said, it's much more than that. It's cutting financial support that is coming from Serbia budget to people, Serbian people in Kosovo.
This decision is legal?
From their point of view, it's legal because if you look at their system, it's they have found some explanation, but if it depends what we used to say from which book you are reading, because if you read the constitution that they are using, they will find perfect explanation. If you look at the resolution 1244 and everything what ANMIC is supposed to do, it's not completely legal because also some other things are very problematic, but the main thing is not about legality. If you look at the legality, many things from the dialogue, many things that decisions that Belgrade have made are not completely legal within relation with the Serbian constitution. But it's a question of the effects and how that affected the people. The biggest problem with this decision is that definitely affected strongly on our people because that is one more pressure on our community simply to decide to leave from Kosovo, and the number of Serbs is decreasing rapidly in the last couple of years, and that is, I think, huge problem not only for Serbs, not only but for everybody, because as I used to say many times, only bridge that exists between Serbs and Albanians in Balkans are Serbs in Kosovo. We can maybe be one opportunity to build better relations in future, but this bridge is falling apart. And only guarantee that I think if Serbs disappear, what is possible to happen from Kosovo, and more attacks are being made on our cultural heritage that exists here, I think that is a guarantee for new conflicts in future. And I hope that there are many people that will not like to see something like that. But if we get in the result where Serbs disappear or get so minor or irrelevant in this ground, definitely that will be a guarantee for conflicts in future.
So, Prime Minister Kurti is doing a politic of tension against Serbs.
Yes, he is using that for many reasons. Some are ideological, some are practical. Number of Albanians is decreasing rapidly also here after visa liberalization, and we have the census now being implemented. He's trying to show that the number of Serbs is much smaller than that is used to be from in the past. One of the political idea is to decrease also power that exists, the reserved places and everything what is written in the laws that are protecting our rights. He's saying that we are overprotected. illegally, what is complete nonsense, because in practice these laws are not functioning. So his idea is to decrease our relevancy and affectance on legal system, because one of the ideas that we have heard from past is to change constitution, and they cannot change it with these laws now without votes of Serbian representatives. At least 4 Serbian representatives from 10 has to vote for change of constitution, and that something like that will not happen if we have strong community.
So, Mr. Branimir Stojanovic, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.